This is going to be our weekly Max Factors Clem, potentially. But here we go. Spawning in, I mean, most likely, I'll be honest. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of the media, we have our French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, the best player in the world, the reigning world champion. It is him. It is Clem. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as Solar has a mountain to climb. He's up against a player who has the best TvZ in the world. Clem, you don't get much better than that in this matchup. And Solar, he has to bring his A game here to bring him down. It's not going to be easy, but Solar has already achieved so much to make it this far. So big shout out to Solar to make it to the semifinals. Not an easy feat whatsoever. So very impressive play already. And we'll see if he can keep that going. Again, he had a very close, very intense series between himself and Classic earlier in the quarterfinals. He's made it here. Made it to the semis. As a reminder, Solar, he was the only Zerg sign-up in the tournament today. The only Zerg player. But hey, he's made it to the semis, so impressive. Very impressive. Here we go. Are going to be settling in. And welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala being one of the larger maps in the map pool. Aggression can be difficult to pull off here. So we could see a player like Solar trying to cut corners and be greedy early on to get away with a bolstered economy here against Clem. Typically you have to cut some corners against him, whether it's a boosted economy, whether it's being hyper aggressive and catching him off guard with an all-in. We'll see if Solar can get away with any extremes. See if he can. We go. Don't worry, we got Max Factors Clem again later. I mean, you say that. I think Max Factors Clem is a lot more common during the European weekly, but during the Wardi weekly, I feel like it may. I mean, I guess it happens often enough. I think maybe like 50% of the time, maybe. Like I feel like we see a lot of upsets when it comes to Max Packs. Like even here this week, Hero forced him to the ace match. Like I feel like it's becoming more common to see players like Shin or Beyond or Dark or Hero or one of the other players to deny Max Packs of finals. More so than denying Clem of finals. Not this week, but I feel like that happens relatively often. I think that the image of the Clem versus Max Packs finals is just cemented because of the Monday weekly, right? Because of the European weekly. Because that's like 80 or 90% of the time. I still remember their Trigger. I still remember Trigger facing off against Clem in the European weekly like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Did happen. Big shout to Trigger. Like, if you remember, it was last week where, I mean, I was naming Korean players, but Skillus, remember, Skillus, he was the one that defeated Max Packs last week. And brought him down. It was Nikita. It was popping up. From here, there. Oh! From here, there we are just going to be joining up. Behind this, it's going to be a third CC into a starport. So 3 CC Banshee out of Clem. Very standard play here. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too crazy. Just opening up Hellion Banshee with a third CC. So standard play so far. And we'll see if Solar can keep up with the Hellions, keep up with the Banshees. We do often see a lot of 2-on-1s on Amygdala just because it's so much more difficult with the Hellions to get into mineral lines on this map. But despite that, Clem will embrace the Hellions regardless. We'll embrace those Hellions. Oh. Breaking through the Lings. Looking to get into the mineral line, and drones are going to be going down. So far, so good. He gets 3. Did I say 3? He gets up to 4. Up to 5. Another volley goes up. 6 drone kills. 7. And looks like only 7 here as the Queens are keeping up, and the last volley will not go up. 7 drones. 7 drones for Hellions. A better trade for Clem. And he's not done because in come those Banshees. As the Banshee has arrived. towards the main. True, at least 50%. At least. True. So Banshee dips in. Spore's not ready. Oh god. There is no Spore. Clutch Transfuse keeps some of the drones alive. Despite that, 3 workers go down, catching almost a transferring worker as well. That is 10 workers in total. And Clem pulls away. He pulls away. The damage has been done. Despite how defendable Amygdala is, despite that, Solar has been struggling to bleed out a lot of workers. Just now going into his lair, into his Bailey nest, into 1-1 upgrades. Solar trying to build up towards that mid game. But the Banshees are still wreaking havoc. And they almost catch a queen. Up! Oh my god. It's gonna be 2 transfuse. 2 transfuses get spent. Queen does survive. Solar holds. Solar, he does hold on. Bailing's speed has been prioritized to really safe play out of Solar. Behind this, Clem saturating his third base, getting up and running. Nothing to really punish him. Nothing to harass. Nothing to harass yet. Solar, he can breathe, he can spread his creep, getting to Link Bane at Hydra. Hydra then has been thrown down. Until he comes online though, Clem, he has momentum. He's moving out, going for that 7-minute push. This is actually hitting a couple of seconds sooner. So very crisp timing here from Clem. Does move out. This is going to be hitting without the armory, so these Hellions can all morph into Hellbats. Armory just now began. But Bailing's speed is not ready yet. 10 seconds away. Oh my god. Still another 10 seconds. Hatchery getting very low. Does get a transfuse off, but it may not matter. Yeah, the base is going to go down. Massive pickup. The fort goes down. And Solar, he's falling behind. Is contained on 3 bases. Banshees, they hit the northern fourth. Marines move in. Nice target firing. Gets a Bailing. Does get a Bailing. Detection. Wardling in as well. Solar, he saves that northern fourth for the time being. There's another cancel. Clem posts forward. Nice tank shot, and here comes the second wave. Here comes the second army. And the Link Bane is already the queens. He gets 1. Sims in, takes out 1 queen. Denies the creep. Solar, he has to respond to this. The Link Bane does react. Does rotate over. Still a nice catch here for Clem. So he's holding, he's surviving. He's okay. But what I'm worried about here is the main army. The main army is going to be pushing forward. And Clem does have that supply lead. He is ahead. Solo just trying to tread water. Trying to keep up, but there's barely any creep. Marines, they stim in. And Sola, he might just not have enough here. Running forward, shows some mine shots. Does that the mines, getting on top of the tanks. Both tanks will go down, and Sola, he holds. Does hold on. Forces back the Bio army. Meanwhile, Queens, catching out 3 of those Queens. Does catch the creeping Queens. Brutal pickups. Yeah, still a better trade for Clem. Sola, he saves the base for now, but still on low HP, still less than half. No creep whatsoever. Here comes the second army. Here come the reinforcements, and this time the base will fall. Sola, he evacuates. He knows he can't hold on. Oh, the unburrowed. Oh my god. Does unburrow in time, and the 4th base crumbles. And with that, Solar, he just cannot maintain his economy or his production. Stuck on 3 bases. Clem stims in. Respects the Bailings. Didn't know when they were finishing. He could have kept going. Wasn't aware of their progression. Aware. But he's still just out trading Solar here. Even taking down Hydras. Trading minerals for gas. Being a little bit greedy. Wanted that Overseer. As Solar is getting that gold base, that will allow him to sustain himself, at least somewhat. He's holding on with the gold. At least trying to. But again, these are just trades that Solar can't afford. That's the problem here. He's bleeding out Lings, Banelings, Hydras as well. Clem is just remaxing. And every time Solar has that much less to defend. So as we do see Clem moving in. Dustin forward. Oh. Yeah, there are no Banelings to defend, just purely Ling Hydra. 5 Banelings on the way, and without Banelings, this army can just stim and win. He can just stim in, and there's just nothing to stop him. Doesn't need a split. Doesn't need a spread. Just starts his forward. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A really crisp initial timing there out of Clem. Again, that 7-minute push hit earlier than normal, and with that, Solar was barely not ready in time. Remember, he was 10 seconds away from finishing up Bailing speed. Because of that, the first hatchery went down. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of the end. That first hatchery being killed was a brutal loss. Oh, was a brutal loss for Solar. And he never really maintained a 4-base economy from then on forward, as the aggression just didn't stop. It just did not stop. We saw that Clem, he just kept on going. He was able to just rotate between the bases, whether it was the northern 4th or the southern 4th base, and just never really allowed Solar to amass an army. GG. GG, well played. Clem does take a lead, and now we are jumping into game number 2. Hold on. It has, there we go. Beautiful. As we are jumping into game 2, it's going to be on Whispers of Gold. Let's go. Whispers of Gold is a much smaller map, much more aggressive. What we saw at Clem on Amygdala is going to be even more favorable here on Whispers of Gold. So I'm a little bit concerned. We'll see how Solar will adjust his approach, as aggressive Terran move-outs are that much stronger on these smaller maps. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from South Korea representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. We do jump into game number 2. Oh. And again, welcome on all to Whispers of Gold, a much smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground, less defendable locations, and again, these Terran timings here are just so brutal on Whispers of Gold. Because of that, we see a lot of roach play. We see a lot of roach play from Zerg players, as that is a safer way to open up and a safer way to play, and especially on a more aggressive map, especially with players like Clem getting involved, it is typically more wiser here to open up more defensively. We'll see if that's the case. We'll see if Solar does play Roach or if he goes Lingbane once again. There's a reason why Serral almost exclusively does play Roach. That's just because it's just a really safe way to play to get into the mid game, to get into late game as well. Is a slower style, unfortunately, but has its place. We'll see. For now, Hatchgas Pool, likewise, Rax Expand here out of Clem. First Reaper is on the way. And we'll see where this takes us. Yeah, I was curious because I was like, I'm pretty sure that we didn't see Clem versus Max at all last week, and yeah, I confirmed. We had what five Open Cups last week, and Clem and Max they didn't play at all, so we have to make up for it. We have to make up for the fact that they did not play at all last week, which means we have to have them play every time, every game, every finals. I mean, you have to make up for it. They miss each other, Pap. They miss each other. Oh no. We're keeping them apart. Not like this. Solar standing in their way. So far behind this, third CC is in production, so 3 CC into Banshee once again seems to be the case for Clem. Again, just a really safe way to play. Very secure. There's the add-on swap into Heli in production. And there is that starport. And from here, we should be seeing a tech lab into add-on swap into Banshees. I mean, I say that technically we could be seeing a tech lab into Stim and going for a Liberator opener instead of Banshee. True. Is also viable. But Banshee play is just safer in general. And especially if you feel threatened by a potential Roach play, then Banshees will keep you even safer compared to that. Or against Roaches. Reaper force back. Max he lost to big Korean names like Nick Rack and Skills. Exactly. As we mentioned before, like mate, Nikita, he popped up. It was beautiful. He popped off. So far, Clem gonna be forced back. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure the stereotype of Clem versus Max is just because of like mainly the European weeklies reinforce that. I could be mistaken. Like maybe it happens like also 50% of the time, but I think it's more frequent in those online weeklies. I'm making that assumption because we actually don't get to cast it as often here on our channel. And we don't cover the European weeklies, of course. For now, though. For now, the Banshees are on the way. Banshee does hit the natural. I thought they're all Texan. True. They're all from Texas. Haha. It's Hellions poke in. 4 drones on 1 volley. Not bad. A strong start for Clem. Takes down 4 drones. Clem pulls away. Banshees, they hit the 4th. Once again, forcing a cancel. Big moment here for Clem. And remember, just like the previous game, the win condition for Clem is deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base over and over again, and then when it comes to his main pushes, he will just straight up overwhelm, as the Zerg player cannot keep up economically or even production-wise. Once again, takes down the drone, delays the 4th. Hellions, they trade well against the Lings. Trade well. Solo trying to embrace Lingbane once again. No roaches. Lingbane into Hydra. No roaches from Solar. A very similar dynamic to what we saw last game. Thankfully, this time Solar he has lost less workers, but his 4th base has been heavily delayed, and this should be the next point of contention for the push. We're almost there. Here we go. 7-minute move out is upon us. Clem is committing. Thankfully, there is a little bit of creep to work with. No Banelings. Yeah, no Banelings. Remember, last game, Bailing speed was 10 seconds away from finishing for the 7-minute timing. Here, it just began. It only just started Solo going into Hydra's a lot faster instead. And without bailing speed, I mean, can we save the fourth? Oh boy. Yeah, creep is denied. We got the slow Banes waddling in. Solo getting ready for the surround. Up. Lings a dive. Popping up here out of Clem. Does get away and the tank will fall. Ooh, even forcing friendly fire. Solo's holding. Not bad. Solo he is holding on. Very nice move with those Lings. Again, that flank did save him, and he will get his fourth base. Ooh, okay. Fourth base is getting up. Solo, he gets away with delayed bailing speed, as it should finish, and this time he will preserve that fourth base, now getting a fifth. So far, so good. A better start for Solar compared to last game. Is holding on, is sustaining himself. Going for a Ling run by. Clem reinforces. Does he leave much of him to defend? Not much. There's some reinforcements. The Banshee does get eyes on the Lings. The run by is deflected. And, jeez. Clem is pushing forward. And there's still no creep. But Solo could try another flank. He could attempt another surround. They shut down the Reapers. Tanks within range of the base, and Solo he evacuates the base. It's gonna fall. Expansion goes down. Solo wants to get deflected. Oh! Yeah, solid move out here from Clem. But Solo he at least has a backup fourth. It's up and running. Go. Likewise moving in, stimming on forward. Clem does pull away. Does pull back. So far trading well. Does trade well, shaves off more Lings. Stimming on forward. And yeah, he breaks on through. There's not enough at home to defend. GG, and Clem, he will overwhelm. He will take the series 2-0. GG. Oh my god. Sorry, I was a little bit caught off guard. I wasn't expecting Clem to just keep pushing. He denied the fourth base, and I assumed like, oh, okay, we're just gonna back off. We're gonna rotate over towards the northern fourth. I think Solo assumed that as well. Clem, after he killed the fourth base, he just kept going to the natural. Like, he just kept pushing. It's like, oh yeah, true. you gain access to the natural. And with that, Solo, he was just having a really hard time engaging in that position. His reinforcements were caught off guard. With that, GG. GG, well played. Clem, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. And up next, we have our TVP. We have what we've all been waiting for. We have a Terran versus Protoss between Clem and MaxPax. Let's go. Let us go. Getting ready for those finals.